Hello, we've got it. Here we are, and today's topic that I want to talk to you about is something really interesting that came to me this week. And the topic is, are men and women treated the same as authors of non-fiction books? Now, I had personally never thought about it. Who am I? Sigrid de Cast. And I believe that everyone has a valuable story to tell, and that sharing that story through a book can make a positive impact in the world. But, so many, particularly women in business, stall to get started writing their book. Most of the time, reason after reason is around no time, and time goes by day after day, and you're not starting. Your book is not getting started. So I am here to transform the way savvy people in business, in particularly women, those change makers, if that is you, how you go about writing your story, your knowledge, your expertise into a book by showing you a very simple, smooth, and straightforward way with the right framework. Everyone can make a bigger impact and inspire positive change, be much more widely recognized for your expertise with a book. I am sure you know that. So today we are talking about, is there a difference in how men and women are treated as authors of a non-fiction book? And I found it very interesting to get that question this week. As I said, not something I had ever thought about. Have you ever thought about it? If you have, leave me a comment, because I'd be very interested to know what your thoughts on that are. So, how does that work? What I did is some research, and the biggest research company, Nielsen AC, of course, didn't have anything on if authors, male or female, are treated differently. But what I did find is that, first of all, as I just said, particularly women, if you are one, I ask you why, hesitate or stall to get started. I have so many, particularly women, come to me. I haven't got a number right now, but there's at least 2 a week who say they want to start, they want to write a book, they've got some ideas, but then they're not moving forward. Now, I know for some of you, it might be some sort of hesitation around, have I got enough material? Is it really a good topic, what I have in mind? Well, all of that is very important to work out before you get started, of course. So what I have found in my time, in my experience, is that a lot of women go to look for becoming bestsellers with their book. They feel that getting that bestseller status is going to elevate them, is going to make their book more readable, is going to put them out there for people to want to read their book. But unfortunately, afterwards, once that status has been achieved, most of them have no further success. Then they come to me and say, can you help me market my book? Not really making the book sales I was hoping for. So there is a connection between what people are looking for, especially women are looking for, in wanting to write their book and wanting to achieve with it. Often it is the idea, yes, we want sales, book sales, we want people to know about it, but more importantly, most of the time is that women particularly, men as well, I'm not saying you're not, but women in particular want to make a difference in the world. They want to share, we want to share our knowledge, our expertise, and in doing so, there is this element in the background, am I good enough? Do I really know enough? Is it going to really make a difference? What if people are going to talk about me and say something that is not nice about me and my book? And that is holding a lot of women back. But when we're coming back to the topic, are men and women treated the same as authors? Then the information that I have found there is pretty straightforward. For the top 10 best-selling female authors, who include people like Jane Austen, Margaret Atwood, Danielle Steele, and so on, and I know they are not business book writers, that is fiction what we're talking here about, only 19% of these authors' readers are men and 81% women. And I would venture to say that that probably transfers into business books, into fiction, non-fiction books as well. Why would that be? You see, the information that we have here is that we can't distinguish for the non-fiction books. What we can distinguish is, in my experience and particularly, a lot of the books that female authors, that women in business, professional women, experts, coaches, consultants, professionals, a lot of the time, the books that I see people write are not focusing on a very specific topic with a title that is going to capture the attention of exactly the people they want to capture their attention. So what I'm saying is, we still are and always will be judging a book by its cover. And it's not the color and your photo on the cover, or the way the graphic looks, whatever. That is not the main capture, the main part that people judge your book by. The main part is, what does this title say? Is the title of my non-fiction book clear for the person I want to read it? Now, often this is already where it starts getting wonky for a lot of people writing their book. They haven't even thought about, what do I want to achieve with this book here? What do I want this book to do for me to achieve? And who, therefore, do I need to write my book for? A lot of people just write when they think they have something to say. And yes, you do have something to say. Very important. A very important message if you are in business, if you are coaching, if you have an expertise that you're helping people with right now. You're already fairly well known and you have great clients and client outcomes. And you want more of that. You want to have more people to recognize that they can come to you for help, for working with you. In your book, that needs to transfer to you via your book title. That's the very first place people will be attracted or not to your book. So if a female author writes a book, a non-fiction book around her business expertise, and the title of that book does not speak to males to read it, when the title is too vague, too short, too cryptic, then of course male readers won't be attracted by the cover, by the title of the book. So it starts with a planning, which is exactly what my framework is all about. That's the very first thing people who come to me for help do. We plan. What is it that you really want to do with this book? Yes, you want to have some additional sales. Most of all, though, you want to make an impact. What does this impact look like for you? What is your expertise? How can we really chisel out what that is and who is it for? Now, often female authors may absolutely go with their work towards other females. So they are writing more for females and not so much for males. But often business topics can very much be relevant and important for male readers as well, for others in business. So here is the important part to think about as a female author in business, writing your book. What is this impact that you want to make, and who are you going to focus on wanting to make this impact with and for? What is your audience? Who will read this book? And then we need to Therefore, put the right title in place so that those people will be attracted as soon as they see the cover. We do judge a book by its cover. That is really important. Now, it has been suggested, and I have no research data on this. It has been suggested that perhaps sometimes females may use book titles that are not so standout, non-descriptive, a little bit more cryptic, because they are hiding behind their own expertise. I'm not so sure that that is the case. I would say more often that when you work to write your book with somebody who does not look at your book as part of your marketing collateral, then you already are behind in the run for top read author. Everything we do in business is about marketing. Now, marketing really is everything, and that is where my strong point comes from. We need to look at how are you going to promote you, your business. How do we put your brand out there and position your brand? And your book is part of your brand building collateral. So your topic and your book title needs to fit in with what you stand for, who you are, and what your business offers. So it's got to be specific, and it needs to capture the attention immediately. That is what I wanted to share with you today in this particular video around, are men and women treated the same as authors of non-fiction books? I would say men often, probably more often, are confident to say what they want to say, use a book title and bring it out there with confidence. As females, often that confidence is there but doesn't stay there. And when it comes to writing a book, I would venture to say, and this may not be true, correct me with a comment, please, that confidence gets lost in, wow, a book puts me out there, I've got to present who I am and what I know. Well, you can do that. And there is nothing to say about you in the negative, because you are in business, you have a business, and therefore what you do is important. You already have proven that by having your business. You've proven that by having clients and client outcomes. So a book can really boost your recognition for who you are and what you do. Think about doing it now and don't leave it till later. Are men and women treated equally, treated the same as authors? Are men and women treated the same in business in general? Big question, lots of discussion around that. In some places, in some ways, in some areas, perhaps they are. In many areas to this day, they are still not. What my direction for you as a woman in business, as one that wants to bring about change, my direction for you is write your book. Write it now. Do not leave it till later. So much gets lost. Your knowledge and your expertise is unique to you. So put that onto the pages of a book. That's it from me for today. Sigrid de Kast. My business is Sticky Beak Marketing, and you can simply get in touch with me on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. You'll find me quite easily. My name is unique.